I have also to tell you that in this island there is a great mountain, of which the rocks are so broken that it can be ascended only by chains of iron suspended, whereby men may mount to the summit. Here, according to the Saracens, is the monument of Adam our first father, but the idolaters consider it as that of Sergamon Borcam. They describe this last as the first man, whose image they worshipped, and as the best that ever lived in their country. He was son to a great, rich, and powerful king, yet refused to succeed to the throne, or to attend to any worldly concern. The monarch, who had no other son, was both grieved and angry. He made him large promises, offering even to resign, and raise him immediately to the throne, but the youth would listen to no such proposal. The father was like to die of grief, but bethought himself of a plan for bringing him back to the world. He lodged him in a very fine palace, and appointed 30,000 beautiful damsels to serve and amuse him. The prince, however, remained insensible to their seductions, and led a more virtuous and chaste life than before. Now his habits had been so reclose that he had never seen a dead person, or one not perfectly sound in his members. One day, happening to ride across the path where a man lay dead, he was utterly astonished, and asked of his attendants what that was. This being explained, he inquired if all men died, and being told they did so, he walked on, musing very deeply. Some time after, he saw one unable to walk, and with all his teeth decayed through extreme old age. Having asked, and being informed what that was, he declared he would no longer remain in this evil region, but would seek a place where men neither died nor grew old. He left the palace, and journeyed into great and trackless mountains, where he spent his whole life virtuously and chastely, observing rigid abstinence, so that had he been a Christian, he must have been a very great saint. When he died, his corpse was carried to his father, who, on seeing the body of one whom he loved better than himself, was grieved to the heart. He made an image of him composed of gold and precious stones. All the people of the country adored him as a god, and they say that he died 84 times, becoming first an ox, then a horse, then a dog, and various other animals, but that the 84th time he became a god, and they worship him as their best and greatest. These were the first idolaters, from whom all the others in Seilan were descended. But I assure you, many from the most distant countries come hither on pilgrimage, as Christians to the shrine of St. James, and the monument on this mountain is said to be that of the prince, whose teeth, hair, and skull were preserved. But the Saracens say that it is that of Adam, our first parent. God knows which is right, but one cannot believe the latter, for the scriptures of our holy church assure us that he died in another part of the world. Now it happened that the great Khan, hearing that the tomb of Adam, with the other objects mentioned, was on this mountain, sent in 1284 a numerous embassy, who travelled by land to the island of Seilan. They went to the king, and procured 2 of the grinding teeth, which were very large, also the hair, and the cup, of beautiful green porphyry. They then returned, and sent notice to their sovereign of what they were bringing, when he ordered his subjects to go forth and meet these relics of our first father. All the citizens of Cambalu came out, the chief men received the sacred objects, and brought them to his majesty, who welcomed them with great joy and reverence. I assure you, too, they found this cup to be of such virtue, that when food was introduced for one man, there would be enough for 5, and the great Khan declared he had tried this, and found it the truth. Now having told you truly all this history, I will leave it and relate other things.